Check.
Welcome.
Yes.
Checkity, check. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we can hear you.
Excellent. Yeah, that's like the second time my computer has done that in as many weeks. It's very strange. Don't know why it's doing that. All right.
Where were we?
Yes. At what point did I cut out? Was I speaking actively and I just like stopped speaking?
You were speaking. Well, you started to speak and then you went silent.
You said he
Okay.
rolled a 100, and that was the last thing we heard.
Oh, well, I thought I did a good job with the next couple sentences, but I missed them. Darn, I'm going to forget exactly what I said. Okay. Alrighty. Yes. Oh, you didn't get to hear that whole thing then. So Francis had some sort of... he was so excited by his re-meeting up with Eladin, because he hadn't seen him in a while, that it slipped his mind, and he did the time of day had not been relevant to him since he had seen Eladin. So when the bell toll goes off, he gets an epiphany, and he recognizes, it's like it all comes rushing back to him. He remembers why exactly that sound happens and that the movements of the guards would begin. So, with that in mind, Francis will rather softly pursue Eladin. And that was like 15 feet. He'll like enter into the master bedroom, and he'll whisper and gesture to Eladin. And he would spend, his like 6 seconds or whatever, quickly explaining how all of the upper level guards are on a 1 hour cycle where they would all rotate positions.
How long do we have while he's not there?
Yes. So in terms of D&D terms, it would be about 6 rounds. Six rounds?
God, I don't have to jump out the window. This simplifies things.
Let me just double check that. I think it might be 5. Cancel the broadcast. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6 rounds. Yep.
Great.
And then we move on to this guy here. There wouldn't have been... Well, I guess Effie's a bard. What is her bard weapon, actually? Her bard specialty. Just double check that. Because I'm not sure how musical she
only
actually
assume
is.
glamour.
Glamour. What is tools? Drum and lute. Okay. We could make some sort of assumption that she would be adding music to Zane's and her performance. And the gladiator, maybe Kundali would notice he has started like tapping his foot along to the beat. He does his other thing. This guy, and now it is the veterans' turns again, which means they move. Oop, that's an arrow. That's a move here, and that's a move here. And there, and there. All right. Eladin.
I am going to say, "Oh, excellent," and then run past him. And on the way running past, can you keep an eye out in the hallway and alert us when he's coming back? 5, 5, 6, and then dash 1. Oh, great! I put myself under. Now I've got myself up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then I'm going to whisper at Atlee, "Change of plan. I'm coming with you."
Okay.
Atlee
out of sight.
Yes, Atlee would have just seen and heard him turn the corner and walk south. just a moment before.
Yes. And I will 100% relay that I just saw the guard that he just mentioned leaving around the corner.
Excellent. Go, go, go.
All right. Kundali.
Not much I can do. Well, let me just. I'll take a. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Or nothing I really plan on doing. I guess I'm gonna look around and. I'm gonna keep an eye on this dude and trying to tell what he's gonna do next. If he's gonna do anything next.
For sure. I shall inform you if he does. If and when. Oh, excuse me. All right. Our cleric is currently she is very with whatever sort of beat Ifia is throwing down. The cleric is adding to it by clapping her gauntleted hands together, and she seems to be doing it quite well. Staying in time, it adds to the. While the drunk people over here are clapping poorly and making noises as drunk people do. I don't often see very many drunk people, so I don't know exactly what that would look like. All right, the knight, and back to Zane. Zane will continue the show. So with the thing summoned, did the animal thing.
Maybe he'd make them do like a flyby of the drunk people.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I agree. And we just see if there's anything else to add to that. Okay, he's going to first level Burning Hands. So Burning Hands is a 15-foot cone, so it doesn't reach the ceiling, but he does it straight up. So it has like that cone, like, and maybe he twists his hands while he does it, so it has like a tornado effect. And his little puppeteered animals will come, or his shaped animals will fly out of it, and like you said, do like a lap around the room kind of thing. And we will move on. And I think we're gonna skip Fia's turn for now. If she has anything she wants to add to that, she can do that when she gets here fairly shortly. All right, back to the top of the order. These guys rotate. Those guys rotate. And Atlee.
I can see that the guy is completely gone.
He is indeed.
I'm going to move into the hallway. And before we move into the hallway, I'm gonna speak to Ellen, saying, besides the fork and the knife I have, do you have any other tools we can potentially use to get this door open?
I don't really carry tools with me.
Me too.
I have a sword.
Okay. With that in mind, I am just going to walk up to the door, and I'm going to lightly turn it to see if it even works.
You're just going to try the handle. All right.
I'm going to very, very lightly try it. Actually, before I get to that, is there any... Before I go to reach for the door handle, do I see like traps or anything on the door that will instantly alarm me?
Disintegration trap. No, there doesn't appear. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any. It looks like a fairly normal door. The gold handle. You hadn't really seen any other gold handles. Other than that, and the dark wood. It doesn't like exude any sort of evil or hollow presence or anything like that. No.
Okay. Well, with the fork that Eldon gave me, I am or pitchfork or whatever it was. What was it? Like a
meat fork.
A meat fork. I'm gonna take the meat fork, and I am going to kind of bend one of the
the prongs. Tines, yes, I believe. Yeah.
Tines. I'm gonna bend one of the tines down, So there's only one tine facing up. At the very end of the tine, the one that's still facing up, I'm going to kind of bend it at a 90-degree angle. Then I'm going to use the knife. Well, I'm going to stick that in to the door handle, or to the lock. And then I'm going to use the knife and kind of use that to kind of jiggle it while I'm pressing up on the locks, the inside the locks.
All right, so I looked up on Google to see if I could find an image of a carving fork, that is attempted to be made into a lockpick. Google only gave me like 12 results, and none of them are what. I can't imagine there's very, very people who have looked that up. And I'm not able to find one, but I can picture it in my head. I can see it. So this will be a improvised lockpick. I need.
Yes.
All right, so it would be you do have guidance, so it's a sleight of hand check. I almost want to say okay, you whichever, it's either at disadvantage or a -5. How would whichever you feel would be better for your potential. Disadvantage is essentially equivalated to -5, or advantage is +5 anyway. But
I'll go for the disadvantage because of the plus 1d4.
okay, all right. Roll a sleight of hand check at disadvantage with the +4.
So 9.
Roll a 4.
4.
Yay!
All right. So, the lock is fairly standard. It doesn't seem, especially as far as you haven't examined a lot of locks. Your picking is more of a brute force than it is like, what would you call this? It's like,
It's not right.
right. You're. How exactly are you trying to maneuver the fork itself, just for description purposes? Because you can do like a bump technique, or you can do like a raking technique. There's a couple of different ways you could do
I'm
this.
doing the bump technique because that's the one I've practiced.
Okay,
I know.
Hey, I've always wanted to learn lockpicking, but I never got around to buying a set to practice it.
I bought a lockpicking set, and it's really fun actually. It's scarily easy.
Is it from Covert Instruments? Is that where you got yours?
I don't remember. I got it a few years ago, so I actually don't. I think my dad got it for me. But
Okay.
it's scarily easy to lockpick a door.
All right. Yes, and since Atlee is great at many things, he does manage to even surprise himself. He's bumping, and he's like, maybe he's cursing a little under his breath, and it just turns. The lock turns just that much. You probably made some scratching, scraping noises. I'm gonna roll GM roll here for detection. Okay, you're good for now. And yeah, so the lock seems to be be able to be turned the rest of the way if you'd like.
Like unlocked.
Yes. I shall make the door unlocked. Good idea. I should probably click on it and change it. You can't unlock the door yourself.
As the door is unlocked, I'm gonna look back to Eldon because the door is still open, and give him like a thumbs up, like surprise that I actually was able to open the door. I'm like, I got this.
You see the same amount of surprise on Eldon's face. This is going far smoother than he thought it would.
I'm gonna when the door opens, I'm gonna take the carving fork out and put it in my back pocket because it's gonna be very useful now. This is gonna be my locking tool from now on.
Imagine use it for more than just lockpicking. It's the knife that solves everything.
You're gonna stab the big bad to death with it too.
This carving fork set are now my locking tools. They're de facto now. I'm pretty sure I still have movement, right?
You do.
I'm not going to walk in just yet, but I'm gonna kind of look side to side and maybe get a little bit closer to the door, see if anything will set up if I walk in.
Was a good thing you did, yes. So just moving over slightly and craning your head and looking around the corner. So just some things you immediately notice about the room. Yeah, we can move the bones. You can move the bones all the way in. They won't activate the traps. If there were traps.
If
I
there
just
are,
don't want to give
there
I don't want to give
definitely
them
are.
too much information.
All right, so you've got there is a statue, an armored statue here in this corner. There is a secondary armored statue in this corner. You notice the room is lit, correct? I believe it is. This lamp seems to be glowing. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's glowing. Okay. And you notice several maps, and there is clearly a plethora of books piled on a bookshelf in this entire corner. You see some envelopes on the table that are unopened. They're still sealed. Another thing of notice, which your passive perception happens to pick up, is here on the floor between these two posts, there is a a ripple of I don't think you would necessarily recognize. Do clerics get what is the ward?
Magic site? I don't really know what you're.
Magic ward. What's the ward spell?
This is my first cleric, so I don't really know. I don't really know anything about them.
Okay, whatever it is. I had it written down somewhere, but I don't see it here anymore. Oh yeah, it's right there. Yeah, it's
Glyph?
you notice, yes, a glyph. Yeah, there is you notice the shimmering of a glyph that has been magically inscribed into the floorboards. It just you're glancing around, and you could just catch it would linger at the edge of your vision when you're not looking at it. So you're able to see something. You wouldn't know what it activates or what becomes, but you see something right there.
Does it span the entire length?
No. Well, it occupies a 5-foot square.
Okay, so it's one of these squares.
Yes, and I don't know if clerics get it or not.
They get glyph of warding.
Yes, they do have glyph of warding.
Yep, and they
Okay.
also get the symbol spell, which is higher level. They're both trappy type spells.
Okay, so you wouldn't know what spell is stored in it, but you definitely know there is a glyph of warding there, which can have any number of activation criteria. It's a very long
my
list.
Passive insight might tell me that's an alarm spell.
Possibly. Or something a little more painful.
That too. It's just fireball.
In the middle of the house.
Okay. Can't have this stuff if you're dead, or if it's burned.
Yeah.
Let's see. With that said, then I saw nothing right in front of me that's gonna bother me or trap me if I walk in. Right?
Nope, doesn't seem to be any sort of doorway disruption or anything like that. No.
Right before walking in, I'm just gonna take a quick look. I don't like how it snaps like that. I'm gonna take a quick look at the knight in the corner, just make sure he has nothing spooky going on, like a golem or something, like animated armor.
If you were it doesn't. That's not something you'd notice offhand. No, they just look like sets of armor that have been stood in corners.
I'm just going to walk right on in then a little bit, very, very stealthily, of course, and stand next to this chair and kind of through the doors. To the doors, I'll be looking at Eldon and saying the "come on in," but I'd be waving "come on in," but almost do this move sneakily and be careful and move sneakily because I don't want. I guess that's all I can kind of convey without doing some stand up or whatever. So I'll do that.
Yes. Despite your careful movement, you do in fact trigger this glyph. It has a particular radius that you just stepped inside of. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, please don't. Be
I was
I
sick.
think the glyph attacked you.
Yes, it targets Eladin in the other room. All right, here's what I need from you, Holy. I need you to roll me 15d8.
Yeah.
I might die. Oh my goodness. 15d8.
Yes.
72.
72. Okay, so this is not damage. So this is a 6th level sleep ward. So when it activates, there's a burst of green gas that just emanates from it, and it just almost to the doorway. So it stops like right on top of you. As it does this, though, you inherently inhale some of it, and you just collapse to the ground, dead asleep.
Can I roll performance to fall in style?
Sure.
Falls into the chair.
Okay. I fall decently.
Yeah, that would be quieter actually to fall into the chair. Sure, I like that suggestion. You manage while you're collapsing your arm. Your arm catches on the chair arm, and you like spin and like you. It's like you're. What's it? You're like leaning back in the chair. Your like head's flopped over the back of it, and your arms are down at your sides.
Mike.
Okay, yes, that is actually the idea. I've never seen it, but I had that image in my mind for some reason.
Head, like body fully arched over the chair.
Honestly, all I'm thinking right now is I gave Ellen like a thumbs up and I just passed out.
Yep.
Yep, and
What a
you
hero.
collapse. All right, Francis will have, and this definitely makes a louder noise than the last thing because you are wearing plate armor or half plate.
I am wearing splint.
Oh, splint. It's still kind of loud. I'll roll that. We'll see. Does he turn around? Maybe. All right, Francis will join you out here, Odin, and he'll see the door open and Atlee collapsed in the chair. Maybe Francis's hands will go to his mouth. He'll like gasp, but he won't. He doesn't have any guidance, or he's just really, shocked. All right.
Flabbergasted.
Yes, flabbergasted. That is a good word. It is a good word. All right. Kundali, your gladiator that you've been observing closely, does not have any visible change of posture or anything of that sort. These guys will move. You move here. He moves there. That guy moves there. And Eladin.
Yep. This is more along the lines of what I expected. Shit. I'm going to look at Francis and say in his head, cover the hallway, make sure the guard doesn't come back, and I'm going to sprint across the room, across the hallway, quietly as possible, close the door behind me, and then lap Atlee slightly across the cheeks to test if he's unconscious or dying or paralyzed or God knows what's going on.
Yes. So I need to add another thing to initiative order. I guess its turn's not. Oh, actually, it is not next, but it's after that. All right. So yes, you managed to enter, close the door, and slap Atlee across the face, and he does regain consciousness.
Five more minutes.
That's
Thank
not what we wanted. Whoops. It's a really long. I'm just gonna.
What happened?
That.
Why am I in a chair?
I don't know. You just collapsed. I'm going to use the rest of my movement carefully go round there. Nope, that one.
All right. You are good there. No other glyphs have activated or anything of that sort. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back. Ifia has messaged me again. She says she will not be back till 9 now because she accidentally put the wrong address in the GPS.
Oh my god. Oh boy.
She put her work address instead of her home address.
Honestly, that's relatable.
Mhm.
It is a brand new car. I can see that happening. Uh, all right. I told her you'll probably survive until she arrives.
Hopefully.
All
Probably
right.
live.
Eladin, that would have been some sort of free interaction for the door, and we'll just say it was movement for slapping Atlee awake. Would you like to use your action for anything?
Yes. I am going to attempt to figure out if there are. Well, we know there's already been one trap. If there are any traps surrounding the desk.
You are welcome to make a perception or investigation, whichever makes more sense to you.
Investigation.
You do a quick search of the tabletop with your eyes, and maybe you duck down and look under the table. You're looking like the legs and everything like that of the chair. You do not. You're still leery of touching anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you do not see anything that just jumps out at you as trap.
At a quick glance, now that I'm close to the desk, we know there's a map. Do the papers look like anything important that I would be looking for?
All right. So the map that is currently on the desk. So it's like it's a raised box, and the map doesn't seem to be made of paper. It's more of along like a digital kind of scale. So it's not like super high definition, but you can definitely recognize it as like a top-down view of Belize, the city itself. Maybe the whole thing has like a glassy shimmer to it. In real-world terms, it's like a... I would compare it to like a touchscreen, like the inside of a game table. Have you ever seen those touchscreen game tables? That's what it looks like. It's like it looks like an interactive map that is. It's not paper. It's magical in some way.
Some form of magic.
In this thing. To go with the map, the paper's closest to you. There are several rolled and sealed, as well as others underneath it. They seem to be, over quick glance, fairly regular business dealings things. You see like some signatures from the Manticore, and there's maybe various. One of them's really formal. Another is has like really scratchy handwriting. None of them look directly associated to.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting them to be in the open anyway, but worth a check. That will end my turn.
All right. Kundli, Ifia, and Zane are continuing their performance. The gladiator does seem... Maybe you notice a slight smile on his face. One of his lips is turned up. Just one side, though. The other side is perpetually in a frown.
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna look at him and try to discern his character. What kind of person is
What kind of person is the gladiator? Yeah, you can roll insight unless you think there's something better.
I think insight's probably the best thing.
All right. So looking over this big burly guy, he's clearly seen combat many times. You haven't met the Blackguard, so you have no comparison to him. In comparison to just other hardy soldier-like folks that you've seen, this guy looks tough. But judging by, you do see is an attempt at a smile. He has some sort of softer side to him, maybe he has a love for the arts. Other than that, he looks, couldn't tell if he's kind or if he's if he likes to beat people. I mean, you could probably make that assumption, but yeah, he doesn't. Other than that, he's not giving off a whole lot of flair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the end of my turn.
The cleric, on the other hand, she's jumping around, and actually, it's her turn. Oh no, wait. Right, I gotta stick these other guys in here first. Here is the other trap you may have been looking for.
Hey, bye.
And it is, as Atlee suspected, at least in his head, even if his character didn't, animated armor. Of sorts, anyway. Alright. So I'm going to need... Just throw them on the map here. And let me just double check and read this again. Alright, I need a DC 15 Constitution saving throw from the both of you. One from each of you.
15 Constitution saving throw.
Yes, DC 15, which feels kind of low now that at least strength store. No, she failed. All right, we have 2 failures. Okay. All right, so here is what happens. Actually, I have tokens for these things. So, the 2 armor standing up in the corner, they stand, they take a step forward, both of them, and they raise one hand each. The hand that points towards you, from it, a drone launches, a tiny orb of magical force. This orb creeps towards you through the air, silently, and you guys just notice it out of the corner of your eyes, just at the last moment. These orbs connect with, the one connects with Atlee's the rear of his shoulder, and the other connects with Atlee's bicep on your right arm as you're turned towards the desk. Maybe you try to wipe at it. Maybe you stare at it in fear. It grows and it grows and it grows and it grows until a point where it encases your entire body. So you are now trapped inside of this orb of magical force. It does seem, you seem to be able to breathe. There's no constricting force to any of your your limbs or anything like that. If you were to poke at the surface of this clear cylinder that's around you, let me see if this I guess I don't really need these. They're kind of
Bubble boys now.
Yes, that's exactly what they are. They're bubble boys. All right, so there's nothing else you can do at this point. Maybe you hear the 2 drones, because that's what these are, animated armor detention drones. The 2 of them, they maybe have a, what do they speak? Let me just double check. They do not have any languages. Well, that makes it kind of a pain, doesn't it? I should put a language in there. They are actually going to speak Common and... No, we'll just give them Common for now. So the two drones have a short chat with each other. We got another one, boys. It's been a while, hasn't it? They talk in a fairly quiet voice, but it's very hillbilly-like. Very like they were taken from somewhere that was way out.
Almost like Goofy.
Yes, very goofy-like, yeah. And then that will be the end of their turns. Cleric and the Knight. I'll move those guys. Zane would have... this is round 3, which is about... That's be very short if he gave up now. So Zane will continue with his... performance. So the tornado, the flaming animals running around the room. He can't like fly or anything. All right, I guess description wise, we'll just he continues with some sort of fiery display, maybe like maybe a scorching ray that like goes in several directions before like reconnecting into like the shape of something or other. And people, I used all of my creativity already. My voice is disappearing as we speak. If the archers, all right, Atlee, you are encased in a bubble.
Can I like move at all?
You can move. You're even. We'll say this. You're floating slightly above the ground. So this blue tinted sphere completely encases your body. It gives you enough, arm room to like stick your elbows out. So if you stuck your elbows straight out, they touch the edges of this what seems to be like a rubbery blue tinted wall. Your feet are on the bottom. If you move around it, you walk in you have a little, very small section you could like walk in, but you're slightly floating above the floor. You do something you would notice, maybe you feel euphoric a little bit. So this euphoria it manifests itself in the way that you feel as if you would never have to eat again or drink again. Like it's as if all of the nutrients your body would ever need is now inhabiting, your vicinity, your very close vicinity. You'll also make the discovery that you no longer require to breathe. Breathing is a fairly automatic thing to do, but maybe with the shock you would like gasp and then recognize, wait a second, my lungs aren't doing anything. So you seem to be in you're awake. You can see around the room. You can see Elodin there, and you did hear the two drones speak to each other. So you are able to hear your surroundings as well.
I look towards the armor and say, "What's this? Can I get out?"
The armored fool. He thinks he can leave our bubbles. The one closest to you gives a nice hearty laugh.
So you're saying you're too weak to break the bubble.
Ooh. I kind of like that. Roll me. You have a +0 in intimidation. Roll me an intimidation roll. Yeah, he does. He doesn't seem particularly perturbed by your comment.
This bubble's not a creature, so I can't attack it.
You can attempt to target it. Yes.
You can attack objects.
Well, I'm talking about the Toll the Dead.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
not with spells or certain spells.
Use the knife.
Oh yeah,
Do
you're so
do
right.
you believe in?
I'm gonna take the steak knife I got from the table and just like slash at it or like stab it to pop it like a bubble.
All right, yeah. We will make that. Actually, you can roll an attack action just for the heck of it.
I don't actually have it in my.
Just roll it as your like main weapon, whatever you've got there. Your
Okay.
mace or your.
It's all +4 anyways.
Yeah.
I am doing not the best.
All right,
Really
so you pull this fork, this modified fork / knife / ambidextrous all things tool, and you give the blue bubble a nice stab. It stretches the blue thing a little bit, but it resists pretty hard once you get past like an inch or two past your like half arm like reach. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have done any harm.
I'm gonna comment saying this bubble's pretty interesting. I'm surprised you guys are good enough to be able to do something like this.
I'm going to keep a running tab of their temperament. All right. And Francis. Francis is off where you can't see him. You did ask that he watch for the guard, so he's going to go do that. Gladiator. It was nothing. This one, Kundali will notice that your neighborhood gladiator has taken a step closer to get a better view of the room. He's no longer like observing the people either. He's kind of watching the show like anyone at a show would do. He seems more enthralled by it than he previously was. All right, this guy moves, that guy moves. Eladin.
Okay.
You will actually hear a noise just as you're coming up here. You don't see anything, but you do hear like a rattling as these doors appear to be checked from the outside.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, sure. I am going to. Probably should have done this earlier, but there we go. Better late than never. I am going to use Mask of Many Faces. And I am going to. It allows me to use Disguise Self at will. And I am going to turn myself into my father.
Ooh.
And then I am going to, at the golems, say, "Desist, you fools! Disguised for a reason. Release us immediately."
I am just reading some stuff here. Make sure I don't. Okay. Okay, so disguise self. How exactly does that read?
That is, I make myself, including my clothing and armor and weapons, into other belongings on your persons, look different until the spell ends. You can seem 1 foot shorter, blah, blah, blah. Tell you what, why don't I just do that?
Hey, there we go.
That would be easier.
I like it. I like that a lot. Okay. So, with that, the animated drones do not immediately release you, as it is not their turn yet. But there is, maybe you notice a a glance between the two and a slight tremble in the farther one's bones. If the animated armor had bones, it clacks a little bit as they vibrate together.
I will, noticing that, finish it up by... If you harm another one of my guests, I will have you both disassembled.
That's good. I will, I think, still need a +7 intimidation. I guess it's your call. Intimidation, persuasion, deception, however you would like to.
I'm going for intimidation/deception. They're both the same.
Yes. It is a pretty good roll. So I will roll that off camera and Kundali. Excuse me.
I'm just trying to understand this individual that's all the way in this corner who looks so rugged but may have a appreciation for the art. I want to peer into his soul. What else can I what's the word? What else can I shine?
Glean. Discern is a good word.
Glean. What else can I glean from this individual?
Right. I might have to look up like a Chat GPT log or something for this. I've never used Chat GPT.
Do I see like a locket?
A locket? Oh, you know what? Actually, I like that. That's a good suggestion. Sure. Yeah. So in his slight more movement into the open, into the light, if you will, his shield is now off to his side. He's still holding his spear, but it's leaned back against his chest. Like so the spearhead is over his left or one of his shoulders. You do notice hanging around his neck, I like the locket idea. There is indeed a what shape of locket is it? Heart is fairly common. Is that something we're looking at here, or?
I feel like a heart would fit this guy's character perfectly.
All right. So there is a silver heart-shaped locket that is visible around his neck. It's around his beefy, monster-sized neck. And I just somebody got online. It was not silver. Okay. Yeah. So you're able to see this. Maybe this is an indication of a lover. Maybe it's an indication of child. A child is a good
maybe
guess.
Maybe he is in the locket from his parents.
It is just as likely as the other scenarios. Yes, it's something that just from this people watching you've been doing, you'd be able to pick this up, and you're certain at this point that this guy is definitely, or it was at one point, a good guy.
Okay, that's the end of my. You see Kundali like stroke his chin and it's like closed eyes. He's nodding like
It's like he's conversing with the weave and like there's something interesting about this guy. I assume that was Japanese. I don't.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Our two detention drones here. I think, based on the rolls we've gotten in this particular interaction, they would indeed drop the orbs from the two of you.
I tried to give you guys a warning.
That's not how I expected it to be resolved, but I like the cleverness. Disguise self is very useful in this particular instance. I like it. All right, so the orbs drop, and you both slowly, light as a feather, your feet touch back down on the solid wood, and in Eladin's case, the solid carpet beneath him. The farther drone immediately drops to a knee and tucks his head and his chin into his helmet chin into his chest plate. Yes, the farther one. Yep. The closer one is a little bit slower. He seems more, if you will, suspicious. I don't know how suspicious he can be of the guy who, gives him orders. But he's definitely slower than the other one. And this one also, his head stays, his helmet stays up a little bit, but they both drop. We apologize, sir. We didn't mean to. We didn't mean to cause. I just hope you're happy with the work we done. If you had been intruders, you'd be real happy with us.
Yowl straight at them.
Seeing your scowl, he will tuck his head like the other. All right. So we've got our cleric and our knight, and back to the show. Which this would be round 4, potentially 5. It's either 4 or 5. So Zane at this point seems to be his fire options are waning a little thin. Maybe he does like what is it? Dragon Ball Z, like Kaioken kind of thing, and flames like erupt from his, like an aura of flames around himself. He like dances lightly, and maybe let's do that. He balances on top of his hovering salamander. He stands on top of it, and he does like some like, because he's not a monk, but he does like what he pictures like monk poses would be like. If you can imagine, this small flaming dude doing that. So he's floating, 5 feet off the ground, and his salamander's like sitting underneath him, like, looking cool and everything. So the flames are, he has like an aura of flames around him. Maybe he throws a glance at Ifia and Kundali and is like, maybe a help me out here, I'm running out of ideas kind of thing. And Ifia is still not online yet. Okay. She will, in one way or another, add to his performance, and maybe she starts dancing in some Kaladesh format or something of that nature. Back to the top. Atlee. Oh, we might have. Did we lose me?
Nope. My
Yeah,
headset's
we
muted. My headset's
Okay.
muted. I'm gonna kind of shave or like wipe my shoulder pads. I'm gonna sheath my fork in my pocket again. I am going to walk up to Eladin and say, how did your... I don't know how his dad's greeted or talked to. I'll just call him Sir. Sir, I will stand here for now, and if you need me to get you anything, just let me know.
Out loud, certainly. I'll just deal with these things, and then quickly in your head, if you can spot any secret compartments, hidden things, anything around the room.
Okay. As he says that to me, I am going to act like I'm, standing here watching on guard, and I'm going to be just observing the room, paying, at this point, specific attention to the bookshelf to see if there are any, maybe books that are more clean than other ones, maybe ones that have less dust on, well, that's the same thing, less dust on one of them because they're actively moved. Any finger marks that consist of maybe a key being placed somewhere. So there's something that would dictate something that's happening.
For sure. I will give. You can do your. I believe perception is your better. Yes, perception. You'll do that at advantage. Roll me your a perception check at advantage for me.
13.
Okay, so your passive is still technically better, but excuse me. Oh man, just a moment.
No worries. Fucking animated armor. I knew it the minute there were statues in the corner of the room.
I literally the first thing when I walked in, I was like, "This is definitely animated armor."
Yep.
I was like literally said out loud, I'm like, "This is animated armor, isn't it?"
No, he's just like,
No,
We
you're
can
still
hear you.
here.
no. We're just like this shit. We call
All right, so doing a thorough visual inspection of all of the room here. It looks pretty immaculate. There isn't really, and maybe you're pretty tall enough. You'd probably be able to see like the top of the bookshelf over here. Maybe there is a little dust in the corner. Other than that, so the books look well kept. Here at the rear, you would see, yes, there would be a row of very similar looking books. They're not identical, but there's probably 5 or 6 books in a row, all with we'll say they're red spines. They're pretty thick books, 3 or 4 inches thick. They look, a little maybe shinier than everything else around them. You'll see. What else will you see? So you'll notice the same shimmering effect on the map that Eladin had seen.
That's a magical effect.
Yes, the magical effect. There is some bookends over here. Now these notebooks look more like notebooks. So between these 2 bookends, there's the more well-used, rattier paper. Maybe some of them are spiral bound, and others are, book binding bound. But they all look well used, and there's maybe smudges and stuff on them from like ink or graphite or something of that similar.
Okay. I'm guessing that was my action.
Yes.
Okay, shoot. I had a really good other idea, but I can't do it because it costs an action too. Actually, can I do it with a non-action with my feats? No, I can't. Okay.
Well, I guess we technically used your passive because your perception roll was slower than your passive. In this particular instance, we'll call that your passive. So if you would like to attempt your action for something else, you're welcome to do so.
Okay. I am with my telekinetic feat. I don't have to use verbal or somatic components to cast mage hand. So, as I'm looking around, I am going to say, I got your. If you need a hand, I got you. And while I'm saying that, I'm gonna tap his back with a mage hand, and as I do that, I'm gonna then move the mage hand up to his hand, and kind of gently pull on it towards those books.
Okay. Which set of books? The shiny books or the
Yes,
not
the shiny
shiny
books?
The shiny books. Okay.
The shiny books.
Hi, Silver. Silver is here. She may
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. What does mage hand last?
Ah, God, I'm so late, y'all.
Oh, good.
We didn't do much. I mean, we did do quite a bit, but
You haven't
He's still a
moved
demon
much.
lord.
A bunch happened, but you haven't moved around much.
Guys,
you're cutting out.
didn't care. They definitely murdered. Oh, they definitely murdered my character. Oh no!
No, but Atlee and Eladin nearly bit it.
Very
Oh.
fast.
I don't know about bit it, but blew the goose.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
along those lines.
Another one bites the dust.
They handled it very well, though. All right. Silver. When we get around to Ephia's turn, we'll give a short explanation on what's going on in your area, and then we will come back to that shortly. Okay, Atli, you are mage hand. You tugged Eladin in the direction of these shiny books.
Yes, my mage hand is invisible too.
Yes, it is indeed. All right, Francis continues his watch. Your gladiator friend down there in the Great Hall. His half tilted smile has turned into a real squiggly line now. So the right side of his face is like a full smile. Man, like a full smile, and the left side of his face is a full frown. If you can picture that.
Like, almost like sad,
Two-faced.
sad,
No.
happy.
This
Like-
dude has clearly had a stroke at some point.
Yes, it's like the
Mad.
left side
Oh,
of
no,
his
he had a
face.
stroke.
Well, of something or some sort of similar effect to that. Yeah, like
Oh.
Can't.
his left side of his lips is a perpetual frown.
Aw,
Sad.
sad.
Sad gamer always.
All right,
Uh,
these guys get to move.
How do you think that everything that eats has to be yours too? I didn't ask you to share your fish skin with me.
Because that's
Going
how
somewhere.
all children be, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
Theirs is yours.
Even animal children.
Luna, you don't even like pay bills, and I got a 10-year bill out there.
All right, Eladin. Eladin is currently disguised as his father.
Going to say towards the armors. Good. Now this is a private meeting. Get out of my sight. Go guard the stairs. And I will then move to sit down. Then address Atli and say, my apologies. Feel free to look at the bookcase while I get the papers in order. And I will start ruffling through papers and testing desk drawers. Does it have drawers?
It does, yes. There's also this stand over here has a drawer as well. There would be 2 or 3 drawers on your right and a single drawer on your left-hand side.
I'm looking for any that might be locked.
So in testing them, the right-hand drawers are all unlocked and they slide open nice and easily. The left-hand one, and they've got various, writing supplies and paperweights and whatever qualifies as a stapler in
Ooh.
medieval this thing another. There's also a stylus. So there's like a crystal stylus that you wouldn't. It was in the very top on the first drawer on the right. It kind of, you would make maybe a connection. It kind of looks like a wizard's wand of sorts, but a bit smaller kind of thing. It's made of crystal. The left-hand drawer, when you attempt to open it, is indeed locked.
Going to slip the stylus out, just place it on the desktop for the moment. And I'm going to ruffle papers until hopefully the armor leaves.
You did give them a direct order. We shall see if they concede. Kundali.
I want to spend a moment to what state is his clothes and armor in?
It's in good repair. He does, he gets. You could make the assumption he gets paid well. The knights that you had seen previously, including the one that is currently leaning on the wall over here, also look well cared for. Maybe the knights themselves are shinier, and even the cleric is shinier. Like they maybe they oil their armor more often, or they use like a bronzer or some sort of talc powder that makes it just glisten more in the light. So the gladiator, while he doesn't have like the plate mail like the knight and the cleric do. He has more of a rugged, it's studded leather, some sort of kind of decorative, a little bit of decorative, but it looks mostly just practical. But it looks well cared for. But it doesn't like have like a sheen or anything like the other members of the armory.
Mm-hmm. And now that you mentioned it, I'm going to take a look over to the knight. I'm going to use my action to do a big observation on him. Like, what is there any affects about him? Like any interesting details?
Yeah, for sure. Roll away.
What do you want me to roll?
Insight,
perception. They're the same. Now that I think about it.
Okay. I guess insight could give you more like characteristics, features, and perception would give you more physical.
I'm gonna do insight.
Okay.
Oh.
So having had your focus on this gladiator for so long, attempting to critique someone else's interior thoughts and motives has become a little tiring. The gladiator has sucked up all of your your insight juice. Just a second.
Fable.
You okay?
Oh, you good?
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry. I was sick earlier this week, and it's just kind of carried through a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the knight in question, he's shiny. He's got long,
Just
slick back hair.
Surface level. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. Nothing. You don't see anything special.
Okay. That's the end of my turn.
All right. Detention bots. The one farther, which you have picked up, is the more cowardly of the two. Does indeed walk, and he faces you the entire time until he gets past this point right here, and then he will turn and make a. So they don't, when they walk, they don't actually like touch the ground. It's more of a floating. There's no like clanking noise or anything like that. Yeah, he's kind of moonwalking. He's moonwalking through this, So he like floats over the couch. He like doesn't even walk around the couch. He floats over it. The other one hesitates for a moment, but does not wish to cause any strife at this point. So he will make the journey that direction as well. The southerly one has no. He's not like turning back to look at you or anything like that. But the one on the top will, as he's walking away, like glance over his shoulder.
Did I use my reaction at this point?
Sure.
To just telepathically say to Atlee, the patrolling guard, check other doors. They need to block the one we came through.
Wait, so I need to block the door we just came through?
I believe so. Go to test it to see if it opens.
That is a
Which way
really
does it open?
good insight. Inward. Opens
This door.
inward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then it opens inward.
We would even say it swings away from the statue. We'll say it swings
This
like
way.
this way.
So it swings, and you want me to block the door?
Mm-hmm.
I can block a door. I'm a big man in armor. Atlee will take a note of that and prepare himself to block the door when he is going to. Prepares to block the door.
These guys have moved. These
Girl, ain't nothing left. Leave me alone.
These guys have also moved. Anybody else?
Do you want
need to
all the
move?
scraps?
He needs to move. Right.
No more scraps. There's nothing left. Except my undying love for you. Yeah, I made sure the car was just big enough to fit you.
That almost sounded cooler with the
The big
the
reverb.
chatter,
yeah.
the chattering effect, the disconnect effect. All right, Miss Silver and Ifia. I'm gonna give a short description down here on what's been going on in the Great Room. You've been a part of it. I'll drag you down here. All right, so Zane has been putting on quite the fire show. He did some like fire tornado thing. He made animal shapes like gallop around the room made of flames, and he's currently standing on top of his salamander, floating 5 or 6 feet off the ground. The way we had you contribute, Ifia, it looks like, was proficient with the lute and the drums. Was there something else she was proficient with as well?
I think there's like one more thing. Hold on.
Okay.
And
You know what
he
would have been
did.
helpful?
I was just gonna say Zane did say he wanted some help. So if if it comes to it, you might want to cast some magic or whatever.
Okay. Nope, no, it's in the bio. Why do I have no brain? Oh, a drum, a lute, and like castanets. That's what I'm skilled at. And then he wanted some help. Let me check my spell list. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. So we had you were putting like some sort of musical beat down for him, and the drunk people over here in this half of the room were quite enjoying it. And
Hey, I'm glad
the
they-
gladiator over here that Kundalini has been staring at for a couple of minutes, a minute, also seems to have
He has
some
a
sort of.
locket. He seems to like the performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the cleric over here has been joining you in your music making.
Music making.
Making merry.
Okay, so making a party is what it sounds like. Helping these drunk folks celebrate. Okay. Is it my turn or is it Zane's?
We can. It's essentially your turn. Zane's just he in his last shebang thing he did, he gave a help me glance towards Ifia and Kundali, like he was running out of things to do.
Okay. So I'm going to turn to the crowd, and while I plan something spectacular in my head for 30 seconds. He's made animals, he's made galloping horses. Are there paintings on the wall?
Yeah, there's paintings on the wall.
Have y'all this is like the weirdest question. Have y'all seen the movie Anastasia? Like the animated movie by Don Bluth? Okay, so you know how the people like kind of burst out and they dance of the picture? Okay. Can Zane do something like that? I don't know the limits of a fire genasi. Obviously, I'm asking him to do whole spectacle.
No, not really.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't
think
seem.
that
Okay.
is
Nothing in
possible.
his spell list, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't mean for him to bring. I didn't mean for him to bring the pictures out. But could he like make people like appear? He's making horses.
No, it's simple
No?
creatures and that in
Oh,
the
it's
flames,
simple.
unfortunately.
Dang.
Like he's
Okay.
doing just
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing prestidigitation, but I was like, if he does that, I can help by making
Yeah.
like a couple extra, like an extra person or something. Okay, new game plan. He's made it. He's made. I'm sure he's made fireworks by this point. I don't know what's interesting to drunks other than wine. Oh, can he make like pretend fire? Not pretend, but like goblets, and I will pretend. Make I don't know. God, how is drinking this hard? Everything's amusing when drunk. I mean,
Can
like
can Ifia sing?
sure, we can try that. I don't
How
know
are
how
you
to
at
help him
performance?
because
What
Put
do
a
you?
performance on.
I was like, you said spells. I was pulling out my spell
Well,
list.
no, I was just telling you, like, he wanted you to do something. I wasn't
Oh,
saying
okay.
two spells. I was just like,
I was like,
Yeah,
I'll figure something out.
spells could help, but you can do something outside of that as well.
I'll do
Okay,
whatever.
I will try to sing a very lovely performance of uh, uh, Beyonce's Drunk in Love, but old timey. There's a song. The
Oh,
song is a bop.
I'm not sure I know
Gonna
that
roll.
song. I can imagine a
Oh,
Beyonce
well,
song though.
well, let
Performance.
me just go ahead and tell you it was bad.
It was. Yep.
Uh, yeah, use that prestidigitation to make it sound slightly better. Uh, so every bad note that I hit, we're gonna use some faint musical notes to just kind of block out those bad notes. Because apparently my singing ability carries over. Solid. There you go. They're like, oh God.
They are
That's
too drunk to care. The one lady in the purple starts like singing along. Apparently, she knows the song you're singing. And her singing is significantly worse than your performance than your singing.
Oh, good. That makes me feel a lot better. I'm gonna find an old timey version of this so y'all can listen to it later. Love yourselves. Just don't listen to it drunk. It makes
yeah.
the world way awesomer, but don't do it.
I've only listened to the new country album.
Beyonce does
Really? I
country.
haven't listened to it yet. Yes, she does.
Recently.
Sorry, I'm
And it's pretty good. It's pretty.
It's I love her. She does do country, even though I haven't listened to it yet because I'm scared I'm gonna be too much in love. I'm gonna be
No,
drunk
she
in love
did
with it.
Jolene.
I did hear she was going to
She
do
also has
that.
a country album.
Mhm.
She just dropped a country album, and I will listen to it eventually, and I'll be ecstatic. Is there not an old timey like old English version of this song yet? I'm sorry. Continue. I'm done with my turn. I'm now looking for music for you guys.
All right. Back to Atlee in the upper room.
Noticing the one guy who is a bit more suspicious. I will walk. You're sat down, right, Eldon?
Yes, I'm currently sat down.
I am going to walk, I guess, behind the chair, and when this guard automaton decides to look away, I will reach for one of the books, and as I take one of the books, I am going to turn back facing the desk and hold the book below Eldon and the chair's back, so they can't see what I'm holding.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The chair is fairly high backed. So when you when you take so you're taking like one of the books, or are you taking like the stack?
I am starting with one book for
Okay.
now. I can always grab
Alright.
more.
Okay, so when you grab the one book, the one red binded shining book, it actually doesn't come out of the bookshelf. So it, when you grab it and hold on it to your fingers and start pulling it, the one you grabbed pulls away like a opening of a the opening of a door safe. So you pull it, and the other ones stay connected to the bookshelf. So it opens up, and inside, as you pull this open and you look inside, there is an alcove, and this alcove contains a well-kept notebook. So the other notebooks you saw were fairly raggedy and smudged and such. This one is a squared off edges, thick sheets of paper. There's a shiny like golden quill with its own bottle of ink sitting with it inside this alcove behind these books.
How heavy does the book look compared to other books?
Looks fairly standard. I mean, it's not a super thick book. It's maybe it's an inch, maybe it's 2 inches. It's
Did
just
I find another book on the shelf here that looks like it's about the same size,
about
about the same weight.
Yeah,
not in the shelf, like just somewhere on the shelf, anywhere.
Yeah. You'd see something similar. Nothing quite as neat as this one.
Nothing quite as neat, but something that looks like it's about the same weight.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Indiana Jones. Give me a bag of sand.
I did not have a weight sensor trap planned for that, but that I should have. Like, I'm glad you were thinking about it. That's excellent. Yeah. So you do manage to find a book that looks to be of similar size and weight.
Well, once again, I make sure that it's after the guard looks away. I take one of the same book that I just found off the shelf and replace it with the pristine journal that's on the inside.
For the sake of as if there was a trap there, roll sleight of hand again. Yeah, it would be sleight of hand. Your sleight of hand is just so terrible.
It is.
You do still have your guidance on
maybe.
you, though. Oh, there! Look at that.
Wow.
So you'd never even know if there was a trap or not. You'd still make the assumption there is one because your trade-off was just absolutely smooth as butter, perfect.
Oh my goodness. I traded off. So now I have the book and the fancy stuff inside. So with that, I instead of doing what I wasn't doing with the initial book about putting it behind the chair and reading it, I'm now gonna take the is the journal locked anyway, or is it just like a bundle of papers?
We'll say there's like a metal band on it, but there's no like locking mechanism on it. No, it's just like folded over from the back to the front kind of thing.
Okay. I am I'm going to. Is the ink thing capped, or can I put it down without spilling it?
Yeah. The special ink or the special the ink and the quill are both. Yeah, you can. We'll say they're on like a little tray of their own. Like there's a little tray on top of this notebook, and they're both sitting on that.
Okay. I am going to, as I take it out, I'm going to put the little tray on one of the outside bookshelves. Maybe just on the side over here. So it's far enough away that it won't affect it. And actually, no, I'm going to put it on one of the lower shelves behind my feet. So if this guy decides to turn around again, he won't see it on the shelf.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just gently open the notebook and see what the first page says.
So I don't have written out exactly what it says, but you would get the gist of this is, I don't want to sound all like villain exposition-y, which is kind of what it is, though. In the first opening page of the thing, it has like here's what we'll say. It's a list, so it's a two road list. It's like a pro con list, which is exactly what it is. So like maybe the heading is like Manticore monarchy, and then there's two lists. There's a pro and a con list, and like the pro list has like every single line is filled with something, and then on the con list there's like 2.
It's so corny.
Yeah, it is.
I just imagine your father just like, this is my plan. Manticore monarchy.
I'm going to lean over and whisper to Eldon, saying, "I think I found some of your dad's plans." And you said these books were also magical?
No, they're the journal binders, the rough-looking one.
Yes, and then there are sealed envelopes in like a tote.
Okay, well, for now, I'm just going to pocket I'm going to actually add the inventory, so I'm going to forget if I don't.
And label it as like Manticore Monarchy book or something. That'll remind us exactly what it is.
Monarchy book and quill. And ink. I'm gonna add that to my backpack. Okay. As Eldon had told me to look around the bookshelf, I don't want to get suspicious by staying in one spot, so I'm just gonna walk over here and kind of just look around after whispering into his ear, saying, "I think I found your father's secret journal."
Alrighty. Francis is continuing his watching, and he will. Yep, he sees that and something else, and then back to our gladiator. I don't think at this point. Maybe you know what? Actually, the next step on his journey is a tear. A tear falls from his eye as he watches this performance that is being put on.
Teardrop.
Yes, a singular tear. Other than that, he doesn't seem to, have much more reaction. All right, that guy moved, and then we've got Eladin. I think we're gonna go through the turn order one more time, and we will make a stop up at the archer here because Holy has got to go, and my voice, if you hadn't noticed, does seem to be running away.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Very much so.
Works for me.
Looking around the room, do I see thing takes pride of place, like the sword?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'd say there's in front of the sword. There's a small like statuette. It's a maybe built like a little altar style thing. But the sword itself, it's more of a letter opener than a sword. I mean,
I meant like the sword in the passageway, something that he seems to take pride in.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So having gotten closer, the digital map here Looks very well taken care of. It looks expensive. It's not like something you've ever seen before. Oops, sorry. He doesn't. There isn't a ton of other endowment in the room itself. The book you found. I mean, there is a couple paintings on the wall, but none of them look particularly
Nothing.
spectacular.
No, that's fine. Does it look like the map attached to the desk?
No, it's up on little feet. Like little, like, bathtub lion's claws feet.
Stubby feet.
So take it. Take it.
Got a conspicuous take right now. I want to take that last.
Yeah. The crystal wand that I took out of the drawer.
Hey, nobody out there.
Touch
You
top
just
of
hear
the map.
April barking. Don't start.
Yes, that is what I anticipated and wanted you to do with it. Yes. So you take this stylus-like crystal wand, you place it on top of the map, and it seems it radiates like a little glowing circle around it, and you're able to, if you were to move your hand, twitch your hand at all, the map like slides, like on a screen, like it was a touch screen, like on an iPad.
You need to steal that
Great.
shit.
Yeah, you
Really, I
do.
really want to.
Take it last.
Yeah. We're going to take that as we leave, definitely. So moving the map around very slightly. Is there anything that's marked upon it? Any, or is it just a map of Burries?
Yeah, that's a good question. It is filled out quite a bit. There are marks of importance, like if you were to look at our Gables City map, it's very similar to that, to the Breeze, similar to that. It has like the guild flag markings on locations in which those guilds call home, or facilities in which they run. It looks very well organized.
Anything marked on it as if my father has made notes, or what's a pin in the map, or as opposed to just the map itself?
Yes, there are, in fact, those under just about every one of the decal, points of interest, if you will. So if you were to, hover the wand over one of those,
That car did not start. You were okay.
some sort of text box will pop up, but it's not in any sort of language or even lettering that you would recognize. It looks very alien to you.
I'm pocketing the stylus. I'm then going to stand up. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to pass Atlee. In his head, he's going to hear, keep browsing, and pick up that map as you leave.
That's you on my hand.
I'll grab it then later.
In the guise of my father, I'm going to stand by the door in anticipation of the guard testing it and opening it.
What a gamble.
Yes, that would be pretty spectacular timing, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Gundali.
I feel like I've gleaned. Well, I want to know more. I want to know this man. So
maybe you learned something new by talking to him.
Which side? No, that's too much.
The smiling side. Yeah, I guess that would be the right
So the
side of his
si-
face.
So he has had a stroke. Aw.
Hmm.
Mm, I think I'm good. I'm not gonna bother that guy anymore. I've learned enough I can about him. I'm gonna look at Knight again. I'm gonna try to glean whatever.
Oh yes, yeah.
Wow.
you
Oof.
just can't read that night.
Yes, he's got a stone hard poker face.
But it'd be funny if he just had a helmet on.
It's as if he has a helmet on. Yes.
Yeah.
You look into his eyes and you see darkness.
Darkness, my friend.
Okay, so
It's a good song. All right. So our guys here will both animated armors.
a great
yeah.
band. A great band as well. Right? Disturbed.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
Disturbed, right? Yeah.
I believe so. All right. They don't seem to give you any more trouble. The detention bots move on. The cleric and the knight. Some of those move. The other one's done. A little bit more there. A little more there. All right. Zane is going to give one last hurrah, brought on by Efia's singing. We'll say it's a song he hasn't heard before, but he can recognize the beat behind it. Does Zane have any? What's his tools? He doesn't really have anything. He doesn't have any musical things. He's gonna make.
Dance.
Yeah, he's gonna make a performance check anyway. Here's a performance check from him.
Oh.
He rolled a 4.
Oh God.
Dice are telling us it's time to get out, guys.
They really are.
Yes, they are. Yeah, so Zane, it doesn't seem to bother the drunk people too much, but Zane, maybe he stumbles and because he was a couple feet up in the air, he falls and he catches himself on with the salamander's tail. And the salamander's looking at him like he's crazy. His feet are back on the ground. This misstep does catch the attention of the cleric. She maybe makes a slight gasp. And then, Zane's aura of flames dies down and his hair returns to normal. He kind of maybe shrugs his shoulder a little bit and is like, well, what next?
Yes.
What time of day is it? It doesn't really matter, but I want to know.
Getting on evening. I mean,
Okay.
It's not that dark out or anything. But
Okay. Is there any other light other than from? Is that the only light? This.
let me double check.
Whatever this is.
No, there's actually. Oh, I
candles.
didn't. Yes, there are candles in the center of all the tables. There is also the ballroom has the chandelier. Right. There's light emitting from the railings of the center piece. There's
Okay.
light emitting from the railings.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation, and I think, girl, You are fine. Stop growling. It's just a human. Let them live. I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation on this small girl. Hush. On this fire, I'm gonna try to dim it, and because I can have 3, and then I'm gonna cast a smell of that. Is that what it said? A faint odor. Does it have to be an odd odor? Well, I guess I would like to cast like an incense smell that's like very calming, and then I just want like the noise of like
Lavender.
yeah, lavender. I don't know, lavender is not very sleepy to me, but yes, lavender. Um, and like I don't know, like sleepy
Rosebud.
music. I hate roses. They look so
Rosebud.
pretty. They smell so gross. But I don't have a sled, so I can't put rosebud up there. And then like a calming noise. I don't know, like white noise. Trying to get the drunks to like go to bed.
To sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Setting
And
the mood for them to go to
this would have these prestidigitations would have been over the turn, so you weren't here. So you would have like dimmed the light early. The smell would have like permeated the room, and yeah. So yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I'm trying to help Zane out there. That's how I'm doing it.
Yes. Okay. The drunks do seem to be calmer. Yeah, they're not like
Yay.
up out of their seats, dancing and shouting or anything like that anymore. As
Yay.
as the performance seems to be coming into a lull. All right.
Especially because we're just roll.
Yes, I'm going to take a picture of this turn order. So we can reuse that. Seems to work pretty good. There's a photo, and I will post that. And I think we're going to call it there. I want to thank you all for joining. I hope you like your new car, Silver. I'm sorry.
I
you did-
Finally got it home.
Guys, y'all don't understand how stressful it was to be driving. And I'm like, man, this looks kind of different than what I'm used to. Why am I back over by my job? And when I realized that I was at my job and nowhere near home, I wanted to cry because I couldn't figure out if the car had automatic lights, because that was the one question I forgot to ask, or if I had to turn them on, and I couldn't get it to work until like maybe halfway
you're
before I realized that they
driving
were
in the dark?
automatic. I was driving in the dark, but with lights, but it was like getting darker, but it wasn't dark. So I couldn't figure out if the lights were on or if that was the cars behind me. The stress when I realized that they just automatically came on was gone. But then my car has to get work already because, why would anything go well at this point? So yeah, that was a fun and interesting drive.
I'm glad
But
you
I gotta
made
go
it for.
get it back.
I'm glad you made it for a little bit. And
Yeah.
hopefully, let me double check the schedule here. I think it's August. Why is my calendar on August? I do have plans next Friday evening, so we can plan on the 17th at this moment.
Okay,
So, and then I will, assuming you guys, I'm going to prepare or attempt to prepare the next, whatever that ends up being, like the running away if you guys get chased, or the option of if you're getting chased, or the, just some other random encounter stuff that might happen after you guys leave here if you go somewhere else. So, thank you for playing. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the setup, and hopefully you get some fruitful results. Maybe.
Absolutely. Went really well. Far better than I was expecting it to be perfectly honest.
You did. You made some, I think, well-informed decisions brought on by modifications. Like the whole guard rotation thing, I had it written down. I just had forgotten to mention it. Well, I guess it hadn't really come up yet because the alarm.
No, absolutely.
And it interrupted the. I mean, the other plan was, who knows? It might have worked too. So
Could have worked. My fear was then Atlee was alone in the study.
yes, that sleepy spell.
Yeah.
Yes, all of his defenses there are meant to, at least the ones you've noticed up to this point, are meant to just contain until someone arrives to the sports.
Non-lethal.
Yes, exactly. Non-lethal. Can't be said for everything, but for those, it can be. All right. I'm heading out. Thanks for playing. Have a good night.
Good
Hope you
night.
feel
Hope you feel
better.
better.
Have a good. Hope you feel
Yeah.
good.
Me too.
You all feel good. Have.
All right. I wonder what my voice is going to sound like in this whole thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you would have heard my thanks. Otherwise, you won't. And that's on you. Have a good one. Goodbye.